Top 10 Mysterious FBI Cases Nobody Can Explain. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, is the United States Internal Intelligence and Security Agency and its primary federal law enforcement organization. It is working under the supervision of the U.S. Department of Justice, even though the FBI performs numerous unique responsibilities. Its efforts in the context of strategic security are similar to those of the MI5 and the Russian FSB. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to go over the top 10 mysterious FBI cases nobody can explain. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10. Jack the Ripper. More than a century ago, London's most renowned serial killer darted the East End, hunting on prostitutes and frightening the neighborhood. He established himself as Jack the Ripper by murdering and dismembering at least 5 women. Dread increased as the corpses began to pile up along each other over 3 months in 1888. The killing was described as cruel and barbaric by the local paper, and the style of the murder was too horrific to describe. Because of his distinctive and grisly technique of murder and his competence with a knife, local investigators initially pondered whether the guy was a butcher or a doctor. The FBI, which investigated the case in 1988 at the request of a film production firm, stated that each deceased was a renowned heavy drinker and prostitute. According to the FBI, forensic technology and other sophisticated techniques of adequately probing homicides were non-existent at the time. Numerous amateur and expert historians and criminologists have theorized on the killer's identification, but it looks like Jack the Ripper carried his mystery to the grave. Number 9. The Finders Cult. The FBI subsequently opened its vault and disclosed hundreds of documents linked to the Finders and a Tallahassee child sex abuse case that spurred a weird federal probe into Satan worship and child pornography claims implicating an eccentric community in Washington, D.C. The arrest of 2 well-dressed guys in suits caring for 6 motley, bug-bitten youngsters hit the headlines in 1987 until they were recognized as participants of the Founders, a covert commune based on the works of Chinese scholar Lao Tse. The Tallahassee Democrat ran significant coverage about the issue at the time, and headlines about the mysterious organization that preached absolute inactivity in the face of danger appeared in newspapers around the country. Number 8. The Monster Hunter. The FBI file on Bigfoot was made public by the United States government on June 5th. It includes a few press clippings and some formal documents to and from a monster hunter in the 1970s, which led to an analysis of 15 hairs as well as some skin that the hunter said came from a Bigfoot. That monster hunter, Peter Byrne, seems to have first written the FBI on August 26, 1976. His letter, printed on elegant letterhead that read, "The Bigfoot Information Center and Exhibition," stated that the FBI had flesh and hair from a mysterious species, probably a Bigfoot. Would you kindly, to establish the record right, once and for all, notify us if the FBI has analyzed hair that could be one of a Bigfoot, when this occurred, if it did occur, and what the findings of this research were, Byrne wrote. He did not explain why he believed the FBI of conducting such an investigation, only that, from period to period, we have been notified that hair, allegedly from a Bigfoot, has been analyzed by the FBI, and with the final result, as a study of the investigation, that it was not valid compared to the hair of those of any known animal on this planet. Number 7. The Majestic 12. Majestic 12, abbreviated MJ12, is a rumored organization that features UFO conspiracies. The group is said to be the code name for a purported secret committee of researchers, military commanders, and public officials founded in 1947 by an executive order signed by the U.S. President Harry S. Truman to expedite the recovery and analysis of alien ships. The concept arose from a series of allegedly leaked classified public records which were initially shared by ufologists in 1984. The FBI pronounced the documents to be totally phony after an investigation, and many ufologists believe that they are a blatant lie. Majestic 12 is still popular among UFO conspiracy nuts, and the subject has surfaced in popular cultures such as television, cinema, and books. Number 6. Duquesne Spy Ring. The Duquesne Spy Ring is the most significant espionage case in the U.S. record to result in convictions. Following a long and complex investigative process by the FBI, 33 participants of a German espionage network led by Joubert Duquesne were found guilty. 19 of those charged pled guilty. The following 14 were taken to a jury trial in federal district court in Brooklyn, New York, and were all found to be guilty on January 2, 1942. The members of the organization were condemned to more than 300 years in jail. The Duquesne ring operatives were positioned in key jobs in the United States to gather information and commit an act of sabotage. One German spymaster later stated that the ring's capture dealt a death blow to their espionage activities in the United States. The FBI director referred to his coordinated FBI move on Duquesne's ring as the biggest spy roundup in U.S. history. Number 5. The Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer was no routine assassin. Rather than shunning the limelight, he appeared to enjoy teasing investigators with cryptic letters and clues while he left a track of death in his wake. In 1968 and 1969, the Zodiac Killer killed 5 individuals at irregular intervals in Northern California. He stated that there were hundreds of more casualties in letters to authorities, but this was never proven. His heinous spree began in December 1968 when 2 youths were gunned down in a parking lot. Further, 2 persons were killed in a parked automobile around 7 months later, but 1 survived, as per the San Francisco Examiner, which obtained the mysterious message. The letters, according to the publication, contained coded notes detailing the killer's motivation as well as a clue to enable readers to figure out who he was. In an August letter, he stated, "This is the Zodiac speaking. According to FBI archives," he said, "I like killing people because it's so much fun. Murdering wild game in the woods is more enjoyable because man is the most vicious creature of all." Authorities were unable to decipher the code that revealed his identity, and the Zodiac Killer went on to slash 2 more people in late September. To this day, no perpetrators in the case have been identified. Number 4. Milton William Cooper. Milton William Bill Cooper was an American conspiracist, radio presenter, and author, probably most famous for his 1991 bestseller, Behold a Pale Horse. He forewarned several worldwide conspiracies of which involved life on other planets. Cooper also defined HIV/AIDS as an artificial disease that targeted blacks, Hispanics, and gays, and that the treatment was developed before it was put into practice. Cooper was born in 1943 and has been characterized as a militia theorist. Aside from the material provided in his own claims, very little was documented about Cooper's upbringing and education. Cooper elaborated on past conspiracy theories by making government cooperation with extraterrestrials a prominent issue. Cooper's FBI investigative file stays continuous and mysterious to this day. Cooper was killed in 2001 when officials attempted to approach him for a variety of offenses. Number 3. Robert Friend. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Jones Friend was a Tuskegee Airman throughout World War II and oversaw the United States Air Force's program Blue Book from 1958 to 1963. He additionally battled in the Korean and Vietnam Wars. He served in the military for 28 years. On February 29, 1920, Friend was born in Columbia, South Carolina. He had a childhood fascination with aviation and desired to join the Army as a pilot, but he was denied because he was black. He learned aviation at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, and Friend flew 142 combat missions during World War II. He was promoted as an officer in the 332nd Fighter Unit by the United States Army Air Corps. He was transferred to Africa, then to Europe. Friend expressed his belief in the possibility of extraterrestrial life in the universe. Friend was in charge of the Air Force's UFO investigation. The United States Air Force initiated Project Blue Book, confidential research in 1952. Even though 701 documented cases remain unsolved, the initiative was terminated in 1969. Number 2. Robert Hanssen. Robert Hanssen is considered as one of the most harmful double agents in modern U.S. history. Provide the Soviets and eventually the Russians thousands of pages of confidential information revealing sensitive government secrets such as the identification of Soviets spying for the U.S., details about America's nuclear operational activities, and the presence of an FBI-built tunnel beneath the Soviet embassy in Washington. Hanssen's double existence began in 1979 and concluded in 2001. When he was caught after the FBI learned that he was a mole with the assistance of an ex-KGB officer. Nevertheless, Hansen rose through the ranks of the FBI, eventually working in key counterintelligence positions. With the Soviet Union disintegrated in 1991, he ceased espionage, probably out of fear of being discovered. But while working as the FBI's liaison to the U.S. State Department in 1999, he continued his double agent activity, this time for the SVR, a past Soviet Russian intelligence outfit. In May 1993, the FBI became engaged in the case and began investigating Ames. Following his incarceration and guilty plea in 1994, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Number 1. Hitler alive. The death of the famed Nazi leader could have occurred on a different day than April 30th. At least that's what conspiracy theorists claim. Scholars believe Hitler and his wife, Eva Braun, attempted suicide in their Berlin bunker as Soviet troops advanced into the city center in 1945. However, as Nina Stroklik of the Daily Beast highlighted this week, Hitler is alive. Enthusiasts were quite widespread in the period immediately following World War II. After all, as Stroklik points out, Hitler and Braun's, the bodies were never recognized openly or formally. In 1947, the FBI terminated its Hitler probe. In the early 20th century, a Nazi nurse's first-hand description of Hitler and Braun's final moments was made public. The Independent published footage, Hitler shot himself in the right temple while having a cyanide capsule in his mouth. Following an extensive conversation with his doctor, his newlywed bride ate another capsule with him. With that being said, here we come to the end of our video. I hope you liked this video. If so, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss any video. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching.